Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Hello!
Look at that first time.
Hello, everybody. And welcome to episode 107 of Sit Talk Hobby.
It was
Woohoo!
only supposed to be your two-stream thing. It's
Yeah,
107 of
look,
them.
keep going, done it. So those who are new to this stream, or who are going to be watching this back, basically, we just sit here, we do some hobby, we have a bit of a chit-chat, and maybe a drink. So, Tom, what hobby are you working on tonight?
Well, first of all, I am getting a invite code for Discord while we were talking, and you pulled me out of my routine. That's how I say. I'm just going to post this. Anyone who isn't on our Discord, go do this. Click that link. It gets you in there. It's all very cool. Yep. However, hopefully some of you may have watched a video I put out last Friday, which was about my Black Templars. I know, an actual update of my army. I know. It was
Where's Tom? What
it
have
was
you done with
almost
him?
as shocking to me, and I'm already working on some other ones at the moment. And I put a poll up on the video saying what should I work on next for the Black Templars, because I was going to do an Impulsor, but I thought, you know what, I've got things to paint. Let's see what happens. And the Land Raiders won.
Yay! Tom's working on Land Raiders.
And there's also one over behind me there.
Which?
That one had some damage, which is being repaired, but with the help of the Mighty Red Scorpion book, which is holding down the plastic. So I'm basically going to do some edge highlighting on this if I can during this stream tonight, because I've got quite a lot to do. So I'm just going to sort of just twiddle on them. What about yourself?
I am working on Terminators. I don't know how well the camera will pick it up, but I've done the reds. It's probably going to pick up too well here. Done the reds, so I'm just going to be starting on the abundance of skulls that are all over these things. Like this guy I've just randomly picked up. He's got 5 skulls on him. I mean, that's far too many skulls to be carrying
No, that
around.
sounds pretty lightweight for a berserker.
I think 5's this one's got 3.
Well, these
Yeah,
bears. I can't remember if these are
werebearers.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be mistaken for berserkers, the amount of skulls they're carrying. But that's what I'm doing. Guys in the chat, guys and girls in the chat, what are we all working on?
You need to
Hopefully
know.
you're doing something.
You better be. You better not just be sitting there listening to us, because that'd be really boring.
So hello Vicky, as a fail. Dave Holland, my Matthew Pickering, friendly neighborhood inquisitor. Hammerhead, very cool.
This is good.
Air-flowing aerospace bar. Ah, okay. Oh, hello, Mr. Blue. Goblins.
Well, that is quite a nice mix of stuff, really, isn't it? I mean,
I lost my paintbrush.
You've lost your paintbrush. You need that.
Yeah, I really do.
I'm actually enjoying using these new paintbrushes that were gifted to me. They're actually pretty damn good. So,
cool beans.
I don't know if it improved my painting, but you know, we'll see.
Makes it more an enjoyable process instead of just hating your paintbrushes.
I mean, I had a lot of paintbrushes, to be fair, and I hadn't bought any new ones for a while, because I've been living off quite a few ones that I bought about 6-7 months ago. So it was quite a nice little change to have some that feel quite, I suppose, good quality.
And what brushes are those, Tom?
These are Grinning Gargoyle brushes.
Ooh, very nice.
Yes, my mother bought me a full set of them for my birthday, and I thought, you know, it's weird. It's weird when you get something new like that. You're like, well, I don't want to ruin them.
Yeah.
But then you're 100%. Like, but why would I have them if I wasn't going to paint with them?
Yeah. I was down at the local hobby shop not too long ago, and I got myself an Army Painter angled dry brush.
Oh, fancy!
And my God, this is like, we're not, you know, sometimes they're not that great Army Painter. No. However, this brush is brilliant. Because anyone that knows the Chaos Terminators will know that they are fiddly. They've got silly angles everywhere on all their armor. And this thing has just been brilliant, just getting in there and kind of getting to the bits that I need to. So yes, amazing. I'm not sure how long it will last because it is Army Painter, but
Six.
it might be all right for a while.
See if the
Hello,
bristles
Phil.
fall off.
Yeah. Dave Holland's got 1 long fang sergeant and 20 shoulder pads to do. Oh wow! And that's my painting done. Ready for the team tournament? Yep.
When is
Dave,
that? Is that next weekend or something? Or?
that is next month.
Oh, it's next
is
month.
When is it, Dave? We've got a couple of weeks to do it. So yeah, all good times. As well, having fun magnetizing a night. Don't want to. Ooh. Evening to building it. Nice. Are you doing anything custom on your night as a fail to make it funky and awesome? 10th of June. There you go. 10th of June.
There we go.
So a couple of weeks. So yeah, my Terminators are going to be taking part in this team event.
Yes. So you better go and
I
finish.
actually had a test game with them again this weekend. And I played. I don't know if Sam's going to be in the chat tonight. Our friend Sam's Eldari, and goodness, they are horrible. It was
yeah.
I mean,
sorry, the Terminators or the Eldari?
I mean, the Terminators are horrible because of I've got 4 combi flamers, 2 heavy flamers. And let the galaxy burn with them is absolutely ridiculous.
Did the galaxy burn?
Yeah. Ooh, 16 flamer hits with just like 3 of them. I was like, I'm sorry, it's just these are the rules. It's what happens.
I'm sorry. This is how they work. This is how they function.
But the Eldari, like he had the Death Jester.
Oh yeah.
And the amount of wounds that thing hits out, it's horrible. However, Tom. For those who watched our previous stream game we had last week,
yes,
will know that my dice rolling, 99% of the time, is diabolical, and that's kind of why I like flamers because I don't have to roll to hit. However, I think like when Sam came in, I brushed against him slightly, and my bad luck went onto him.
Ah, I see. So this is your new tactic. Is
I'm just going to pass the bad juju on to other people.
You need to touch your opponents. I mean, it might end in a lawsuit, but depending on how and where.
I don't care as long as I get to roll some 6s from time to time. That's
I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, I feel this is turning into an excuse for you now. I mean,
yeah.
You sure you just?
I wouldn't say my rolls were fantastic in the game. However, his rolls were 10 times worse than mine. So,
did you
happy
win?
days. I did win. It was a narrow margin, but I did win. Just about. I think about 5 points in it.
Wow.
However, I mean, he had. What did he have left? A squad of Rangers hiding behind a building. A squad of Dar Avengers. And that was it. I had my 10 Terminators, 5 Possessed, a Venom Crawler, Master Possession, and a Dark Apostle.
Oh.
So it was pretty hard on.
Pretty brutal.
Yeah, but I mean, he scored quite high, and he definitely came across the battlefield like immediately. I was like, oh.
You're
so
in my
this
face.
is what Eldari do, is it? Just appears straight in my face. Yeah, so it was a really, really fun game. Sam is a great opponent. We've played him a couple of times. Meta.
Yes, I know. I do know who you are. Who you are talking about.
Normally he plays Dark Angels.
Dark Angels, yeah, that's right.
Squad of Terminators in the middle, so it was kind of calmer that I had a big squad of Terminators in the middle, and he had to deal with that. But
unfortunately, your ones probably aren't as good as the ones that he fields, I suspect.
No, probably not. But yeah, just the way the cookie crumbles. Has anyone else had any games over the week or so? SFL change the stance, so it is stepping up. Battle damage possibly. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think sometimes with the Knights they can just kind of look really static in their posing. Stocky and static. Yeah, so they're just like that. Kind of like what a Dreadnought would do. Kind of like. So you got to try to mix it up. Move those hips.
There's nothing wrong with a statically posed knight. I'm not saying that because I have 5 of them.
I mean, the thing is, like, I would say, where's my other knight? Where's that one gone? Oh, it's there.
About that.
I would say 2 of them are definitely very static poses, and I'm trying to mix the others up and do something with them. But the big knight, the chaos, the knight tyrant, what's the one? I had to do something with it because otherwise it is just standing there with guns, and it would look very boring.
What's wrong with that? He's mocking my knights.
Your knights look cool, Tom.
It's because they're templified.
Well, you paint them every couple of months, so it's quite hard to keep track.
Oh no, that's not fair. That's not true. That's not true.
What? Isn't it true? How many times have you painted your knights?
The second time round, most of them have been painted in that colour scheme now. If you remember, when I purchased them, I bought 5 of them, and the intention was to do them all a different colour scheme, which I did do. And then I thought
definitely done them all in different colour schemes.
And it was a little challenge to myself to try some different ones out, and there was a couple of very bad choices that were made, and that's why they got changed into the correct scheme, which is black and white and red.
What bad schemes did you do?
Don't you remember the orange one?
Oh, well, okay, that wasn't great.
Yeah. There was a dark green one, which I don't think worked too well.
I didn't mind the dark green one. I thought the dark green one was
I think I still have that one, actually.
Have you got your Night Lord one? You did one on for your Night Lord?
I did one Night Lord one, yes, because I converted one.
Have you still got that one?
I do indeed, yes.
Oh, cool.
Because I've only converted over 3 of them to the Templar one, which is 2.
You the Red Scorpion one?
I got the Red Scorpion. That still exists as well. That's the yellow and grey.
Nice.
And then I've got obviously the big boys are black and white, and then all the other ones are black and white as well. So, yeah, and that's where they'll stay actually. So I quite like that, and that's. I mean, to be fair, with Knights and Titans and stuff, I think I'll be testing it more out on those small ones that I've got behind me in the Titan set.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've got the Adeptus Titanis. Now I'm going to be doing the 2 sets, 2 things. I'm going to keep it like that because I'm going to do obviously 1 traitor and 1 loyalist, and that's it. And that's what they're going to stay as for the whole collection for the smaller ones anyway. Obviously we were talking a little while ago about me redoing my my big Titan, which is still on the cards, but I don't want to get too distracted with lots of things before I've got my focus back on finishing a few bits. So these land raids are definitely my focus at the moment.
Yeah, because after Warhammer Fest, you got quite up on your idea of repainting a Titan, didn't you?
I did, and that is definitely going to happen. But it's one of those ones where I want to make sure I get it right, because I'm going to have to break it apart, which I'm not looking forward to doing.
No. Why ever not, Thomas?
Well, I'll tell you what, shall I come break your one apart and we'll see how you feel? We'll see if the tears begin.
Snap it away.
Okay, I'll be over in a few minutes.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. They're the heads for my Terminators. On a wand.
I was going to say, it's magic.
Abracadabra.
If any that got them painted, right?
Yeah. Boop. Oh, they're looking. I've just got to do the. I think I was saying just before the stream, do the tusks and stuff again. I put the red on, and bits of red went on the tusks. So I just got to go back over them a little bit.
And obviously, for those who aren't living under a rock, I think we've all got the vague idea of when 10th is dropping. I believe it is the 10th of June.
Ooh.
I don't know if you saw that particular little leak.
I don't think I did actually.
But
Where was that leak?
But it's been in various places. But when I say that, I say it's going pre-order, but it's a 2-week pre-order, from what I understand. So we have plenty of time, because I assume they're doing it slightly longer so they can actually get the correct amount of kit.
I am not interested at all in that box set.
No, I didn't think you would be. You just want the rule book.
Nothing in there at all. There's just the rules have been doing me. I'm fine.
No, I thought that might be the case, because it's not really any army or
Yeah, I'm not really up on Tyranids. I did Tyranids like back in the day. I think like 2nd edition or something like that. I did Tyranids. They're cool, but they're not really my thing. And Marines are Marines, so it's But saying that, the models are very cool. So anyone that does get it is going to be a happy little camper, I
No,
think.
I am looking because obviously I was talking to you potentially about starting some form of light Tyranid army, perhaps. There's a little bit of difference to what I normally collect because so I'm still pondering that. I know obviously Vicky might be interested in some of the Marines as well. I mean the Dreadnought I'm very interested in.
I think the Marines, Tom, hear me out.
Aye.
You should do as Red Scorpions because Red Scorpions are quite good against Nids, aren't they? I'm sure they were something to do with
I mean they're
412s.
Ultramarines.
But there you go, perfect.
I've had to join Matt's clan. Hope he's in chat to hear that. I did see him earlier. So, but you know, take on those Ultramarine rules. Although technically, no one's got any real rules for a bit.
Yeah, you can do what you want with them.
So, because obviously it's all going to be boxed up in that one, I assume some form of Marine-esque rule set without any kind of too much flavour, I suspect, to start with. Which is fine.
Who out there will be getting the box set, by the way? Who's going to be going out there buying up some of the old Marini Tyranid loving? Sure, some of you will. Like I said, it's a cool box set. There's some good models in there.
I hope they'll do like a cut down set for just the rule book.
I reckon, and I hope they do it similar to the Indominus one, where they had just like a squad of Necrons and a squad of Assault Marines in a box set, or you'd have the Lich Guard against some Blade Guard veterans and stuff like that. I hope they're going to do that with this box set. Oh yes, Dave is concentrating on his custodes now.
I must admit, obviously I've got my sisters to do as well. So I've got that little starter set for our league eventually. I mean, I think that might be later in the year, obviously, but it's on the cards. Don't worry. I'm looking forward to getting. I mean, I'm still doing bits for them. Just this is I'm trying to do a little bit for one army at a time and then switching over again, so I don't get kind of stuck doing one particular theme, which I think is working for me quite nicely at the moment.
Absolutely. Sarah, yep, to add to your Dark Angels, very cool. Someone 2.5. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't like half the box set, just kind of, get rid of it. Lots of people are going to be wanting it.
Oh, exactly. They'll be easy to get rid of. There's definitely no worries about that in my opinion.
And after seeing the Screamer Killer model in person, that is a very cool model.
Oh yeah.
I think any Tyranid player will be happy to have that.
They'll be like, oh, I want 3 of them, please. That's how Game Joy works. It's always 3s. Must focus on edge highlighting. I don't like it.
I saw some good little technique. I think I was watching Peachy, and he was painting some terrain and using the AK pencils.
Oh yeah.
And he was just running it down the middle between 2 edges on a building, and it's like, there you go, edge highlight both, nice and easy. Like, oh gosh.
But it only works when you only want one edge highlight. I need like 4.
That's the pencils. You'll be fine.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't feel right, Dom. I wouldn't feel like I've put myself through enough torture.
Get a Helldrake.
Oh God, no. I'm gonna have to though. I will need one for my Night Lords at some point. I think it's one model I haven't got yet.
Everyone needs a Helldrake.
Or 3. I think. Do you need some more?
I've got 3 already.
Yeah, but you can have 6, can't you?
Can you have 6? I don't know why I'd even want 1 at this point. Let's see what they bring in 10th.
Currently playing Azrael, taking a long time, and Friend Neighborhood Increase says get 12. I mean, yeah, why not? Why stop at 6 or whatever? You know. I mean, I know there's some. I assume there are still some rules against having too many of the same unit.
No, go out on a limb. Go and buy loads.
No, maybe they change that rule. You'll now be like, no, you can have as many as you want now. You can have an army entirely of. Wasn't there an edition where you could do that? I can't remember. Where you could repeat
every other edition, but like 7th edition, I think it was. Was it 7th edition it came in?
I think it was. I think that rings a bell. Because I think they realised it was silly for certain units. But obviously, the weird thing about that is they put it in reaction to obviously 7th, which is obviously they were changing. So, you know, except for troops, of course. Troops are not powerful. Have as many of them as you want.
Pile them up.
Oh my god! Right, come on, Land Raider. Okay, just need a steady hand a bit longer.
Do, 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 do. Get 12. Right. So, do you see the article earlier on the old world?
I did see something on it. I haven't fully read it, but this is about the resurgence of cities. Is that correct?
It is about, in the old world, which factions are going to be in there and which aren't at the moment.
Oh, right. Okay, because I saw something about resurgence of cities somewhere. Maybe I might have been yesterday. I was reading some bits and pieces, but I didn't quite get a chance to digest it.
Yeah, so it appears on the article that some factions are going to be not usable at the moment.
Oh.
So you probably can be able to use them in the future, but they're aiming towards, I think it's like 7 particular factions that are going to be in there from the start, which have full support, etc. And then after that, they're going to.
I wonder if Empire will be one of them.
Empire is definitely one of them. Other factions, not so much.
I've seen some of the more obscure ones, but
Well, I wouldn't even say some of the obscure ones are not going to be. Some of the well-known and supported ones are not going to be in there.
Vampire?
Skaven are not going to be in there.
Oh,
I'm
really?
not sure of that. Yep.
Interesting.
It's like Orcs, Chaos. Hang on, see if I can bring the article up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Inquisitor Bretonnia. If I was to go back to do that, I would definitely look at Bretonnia again. I mean, obviously, I think Bretonnia's there because we saw a lot of that going on at Warhammer Fest. And they released that night, didn't they? Whatever it was.
So, the core factions are Empire of Man, the Dwarven Mountain Holds, Kingdom of Bretonnia, Wood Elf Realms, High Elf Realms. They're the good guys.
You sure? Some of them sound a little bit dodgy.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're quite cool in themselves. Orcs and Goblins, Warriors of Chaos, Beastmen, and Tomb Kings are the bad guys.
I mean,
let me just scroll down. Yep, so they go, what about other factions? Certain factions people remember for Warhammer Fantasy battles are not part of the narrative we're telling with the old world.
Okay, right.
But will be provided with rules at the launch of the game. So
you can play them, but they're just not in the story.
They're not in the story.
Fair
which
enough.
Is fair. Yeah.
So you lied. You can play all of them.
You can play. They're just not going to be part of the main story. And I don't think they'll have as much support to begin with.
No.
But, you know.
They do, to be fair, with the root, they need to pick what they can handle. So it kind of makes sense to cut a few of them out temporarily because it's a lot to balance and a lot to build models for and make sure there's enough rule support. Usual GW failure at proper communication. The whole old world thing has been weird. They started talking about Kislev and Cathay. New development now. It's the factions with old models and a couple of new. I mean, I suppose the ranges you mentioned there, they do have quite a few models for them, even older ones.
It'd be interesting to see what they bring with the newer stuff when it comes out. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at the models on my phone and trying to work out if any of them are new or not, and most of them look like old models.
It's been so long since I've looked at them. To be honest, I probably couldn't really tell you.
They're all very flat and monopose.
Yeah.
Like the Wood Elves are all quite old models, I think. Which is fine, you know what you're getting into, because they're still cool models. To be fair, I'm not,
Oh yeah, they had a
look at the Orc War Boys, and I'm like, they look cool still. Maybe we've been spoiled with all these brand new ones. Yeah. So yeah, they look like the older sculpts, but they're still cool.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, like I said, they've got to start somewhere, especially because they're effectively resurrecting a game system, which is already got all the models they need for it, really. So I mean, why would they, I suppose, spend so much more time developing more and more of a range straight away before they realise if it's going to be a hit or not?
Yeah. So we got. Going to be honest, I know absolutely nothing about the lore about the old world outside the fact it went boom from friendly neighborhood Inquisitor. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I quite enjoyed the lore back when I first started getting into the hobby. Warhammer Fantasy was my go-to. So yeah, I'm happy it's coming back. I think there'll be some cool
It's a
stuff
very
going on.
different type of lore anyway, if you compare it to
Yeah.
like 40k.
Oh, absolutely.
It's,
Yeah. It's more proper fantasy.
It's very traditional kind of high fantasy, isn't it? So it's
it's got some cool stuff.
And
Ceres, why on earth are they using the old treatment and not the new one? I reckon they are using it for nostalgia points. Because as you can see by the older models, it's like this is what people wanted. I think people want to kind of go back and enjoy the old times. I mean, there's probably nothing stopping you at all from using the new models, so why wouldn't you?
No, if it's representative, I don't think it would be a problem.
Yeah, and I think it's going to that audience as well, where I think this is how I hope it kind of goes, to be honest. Fingers crossed. I think Old World and Sigmar will be completely different. Sigmar is very much the more competitive side of it, and I think Old World's going to be for the old kind of like people who just want to get all their models together, have big, massive scale battles. Yeah, exactly. Well, Sigma's going to be a bit more faster pace, I think, than.
I think you could argue that saying about 40k is the same vein, I'd imagine, for it, for the faster stuff. But they're obviously gonna. It sounds like there's some murmurs about epic style revival as well. So guess we'll have to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
I never played epic, so I can't really make a comment on it.
I only played epic when I was really young, so it's like, I can't really say it was one thing or the other, to be honest.
No,
the models are cool.
Yeah, it's a nice idea because it gives you that really grand scale. I mean, painting them I would not enjoy, I suspect.
I've got to the eyes, Tom.
I need my single hair brush for the eye.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
my eye.
It's Clarence again.
All good stuff. All good stuff.
It's all very interesting because it's a lot of stuff going on, and I mean, some might say they're doing a lot of things and maybe not concentrating on getting other things they've got going correct. I suppose that one argument I could use, because it's a lot of new stuff they're adding this year, the next sort of year or so. It's going to be quite interesting to see how they balance it with their game studios and stuff, and making sure nothing gets neglected.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because 40k is its own beast itself, really, as well. But time will tell.
Will there be any of it in stock? Very true, Sarah. Very true.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a good point.
Oh man, like the Kill Team stuff came out, Tom. I don't know if you saw that, and
I did see that.
Sold out everywhere.
Yeah, that was the new sets, wasn't it? That no one could get hold of, basically. And then, however, if you go onto eBay, you can find a fair few amount of it. Because it was supposed to be restricted, wasn't it? I think.
The problem is with everyone talks about it. It's not anything new. But Games Workshop now know there is a market for Kill Team, and the models they're putting in this particular box set are so kind of desired by people. Why not make more?
Quite.
Fair enough. You might not sell them all on the initial launch.
Go.
But it's ridiculous. I wouldn't mind if it was just like, oh, you can't buy it from another retailer. You have to go to Games Workshop. But even they're sold out. So it's not even some sort of tactical selling of items. They're just rubbish.
No, they've got really good supply chains.
Yeah, obviously. My draw to it is again, I love generosity of Knights and Britannia looks cool. Yeah, exactly. It's just very cool. think was just having the unit set up properly, like a big
Mm.
square, the drummers and the standards at the front with the champion. Yeah, it's awesome. Love it. And I think the more I see Sigma and I see them kind of in those formations, the more I'm like, oh, cool, that's nice. I want those beastmen for my word bearers. Yeah,
No,
beastmen cultists.
I'd let it happen. I'd play a game with you with beast customs. It's fine. Don't have to worry about it. If you want to do it, do it. Get them.
Get him. Get him good.
And then I can slaughter them with Templars and Bolters.
Excuse me.
Oh,
I think we should do a game where you have an ammo count and then your ammo runs out on a certain roll.
Oh no, but my Marines have special setup for their clips. Yeah, they've adapted.
Anything they shoot 2 people one shell.
They've adapted the Terminator teleport technology. They teleport clips inside their bolt rifles.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, I know, it's really clever. So
yeah, I know. Well, fair enough. That sounds like a legitimate.
You wait, mate.
Yeah,
nice. It'll be the next teleportarium Marines. It's just going to be Marines that teleport ammo into it.
Yeah, they've got an aura.
They never. Yeah, on a 1 to 5, you reload your gun. On a 6, you get 2 bullets.
Unbelievable.
I think we need it though. Marines are in quite a tough place, right?
Bigger beastmen. I desperately want a Chaos Cult faction, including Traitor Guard Cultist beastmen. Yeah.
I mean, sure.
I was thinking about, like, you know, my feelings on having like separate little cultist warbands within your army. So you could have the older ones, which I've got, and then you could have some of the newer ones. You could chuck some Necromunda models in there.
Mm-hmm.
You could even have a little Beastman tribe in there as well. And I think it kind of just adds to this.
Oh, I think you should have a mix anyway. I honestly, I actually do not like the directions that cultists took in the latest kits. They just look like rabble again, and but not like good rabble. When I say, you know, I mean as in rabble that looks like it's from a chaos army. It's just, I mean, even they have a certain uniformity to them. In a certain weird way, for cultists, you know, ultimately it should be a mixture of a lot of heretical different things going on, but it's just really lots of men with maces and auto pistols. Let's be honest.
It's men with maces and auto pistols. That's true.
Yeah, and I just feel like that's a slightly missed opportunity. You know, there's you know, you've got all these things. Like the abhumans and the, you know, beasts, all these things that are floating around. It's like you could have a box set of, like, you know, even if they sold them as individual box sets for different squads, I think people would buy them to make a mix. I think you would.
I would definitely buy a rabble of bits and bobs.
Certainly, because it makes them look that little bit more different to a standard guard army, as an example. You know. But then likewise, yeah, they could have it the other way as well, so that people can have that kind of blood pack style army, where they're still organised and they're not, you know, fully committed to losing all their abilities to fight in a normal structured manner.
Because obviously you're going to have Traitor Guard in there as well, and then you have the religious fanatics, and then you're going to have all the ones that's dragged along, and the slaves. You're going to have them all squished together. But I'd think that, like, for instance, with Traitor Guard, that you'd have, you know, in a big force, you might have a couple of squads that still retain, like, actually, we're better off if we hang out together and we stay as a couple of squads rather than we merging in with these fodder. Stay as a coherent force.
But, you know, it's more like, you know, a Chaos Warband would have, you know, even if they stuck together like that, there would be, you know, they would tend to stick together in bands, wouldn't they, as well? So, like, all the beastie ones would be like, but they'd still be part of that army. You just have different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's what I mean. Yeah. They would all kind of just be in their little groups and stuff. And, like, Beastmen would be hanging out with Beastmen because they don't want to be hanging out with the humans, and etc. etc. And similar, like, if they came from different planets, they'd go, hang on, well, Kev's been with me for a while. I'm hanging out with Kev. I'm not going to go and talk.
He hasn't tried to eat me recently.
I don't know who Steve is.
Steve the Beastman.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So I mean, but never. But I think we spoke about that before. Where it's just like we'd like to see that kind of thing a bit more. little bit more variation. It's the same with the guard armies. You know, it's all very well bringing out Cadians and Cadians and the Catachan jungle fighters, but I feel they just. I know that's not going to happen, but there's a missed opportunity. From I remember having the Valhallans in metal a long time ago, and other regiments knocking about. I do feel that's the same for guard. It'd be nice to have some way to kind of get that different aesthetic, but still have that being a guard army. And likewise with Chaos Cultists, there should be much more customization with their cultists and stuff like that. Because technically that's what there should be a lot of.
There should be a lot of them. You're right.
Because that's how heresy starts.
Yeah, makes sense. In the Law 2, Chaos Marines usually trawl through the decks of their ships and drag out the dregs and throw them into enemy guns. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd have the unwilling ones and the willing ones to go in there and do their stuff. And I think it's awesome. I think it's a bit annoying in the current Chaos Codex that you cannot have a whole cultist army. Because I think that would just be silly and fun, and just drowning your opponent in bodies of useless chaff is probably quite satisfying.
I've run out of bullets on the bolters.
Drag a couple of
here come the
down.
Chaos Marines.
That 7 cultists jump on him.
Yeah, no, it's I think there's some missed potential there anyway. Because obviously, I suppose a cool thing you could do would be like the old percentages thing they used to do in Warhammer Fantasy. Where you could have maybe if your army was made up of like 75% cultists, it got a different set of traits.
Yeah.
For being a cultist-based army, but say like your Marines came more elite in that particular scenario or something like that. I think that would be quite cool.
Yeah, I think like narratively speaking, you could have like you've got the Dark Commune now, which is like the cultist HQ with the 4 or 5 models. I think it's about 5 or 6 actually. Sorry. But you could have like a Dark Apostle as the leader, or a Chaos Lord, and maybe it's got a Chosen or a squad of Terminators, and then just fill the rest up with cultists. All the chaff, send them in. But yeah, I think it would be quite fun. You could do it as like an open game or a narrative game and just change it up a little bit.
Because you kind of get that vision of like 1,000 cultists, and then sort of in them, walking among them, are the chaos.
Yeah, the Chaos Marines.
Marines sort of stomping through.
Kind of directing them. Yeah, kind of like, go on.
Or like,
Boosh.
Move.
Disobey me.
Bam!
Yeah.
Just splatting them.
Yeah, you're not going to ascend if you're back here.
I mean, it's quite similar to the way my Templars operate with their neophytes. Just not in a chaotic way. It's much more ordered.
Well, how's the Emperor meant to protect you back here?
Exactly. In front of me, you go.
Yeah. Your
carapace and Mark II armor. I'm going to strap you to my pauldron.
If you're worthy, you will be protected.
You'll stop the bullets if you're worthy. No. Oh dear.
Blasted across.
Well, I mean,
so much in common, Black Templars and Word Bearers. It's unbelievable.
I kind of think that's. I don't know. I kind of get that's the point. They're supposed to be those diametric opposites, I suppose, but on different sides of the Bible, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Different sides of the Holy Book.
One of us wrote it, and the other one's just fanatical about it.
Yeah, we're fanatical about killing the people that wrote it. That's they got our name wrong in it. They're really angry about it, Dom. They don't like the author.
Yeah. Understandable.
It's either they're really enthusiastic about the author and want to meet him.
Yeah.
Well, look, I can have your autograph.
Ripped apart by fans. Anyway, how's everyone's hobby doing? If hopefully you're all still doing hobby and listening, rather than us just talking nonsense.
Don't know if you can probably start to see the highlights coming in there now.
Yes, I think so.
So it's quite hard to see.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So stage 2 at the moment. So the little. Oh, that's better. There you go.
There you go. Coming on, mate.
Yeah, it's just takes a wee bit of time. What's this? Captain Jack says, "Evening, gents. Been watching on phone whilst playing Age of Empires 4 with the missus. Old world stuff is looking good. Ties in nicely with my 2x feudal board. I'm making them in for 40k. Oh, nice. That sounds cool, Jack. I like that. That's
Nice.
Age of Empires 4. I haven't played that one yet. Actually, I've heard some things about it. So I was quite some back in. Me and Dobby used to play Age of Empires a long time ago.
Erectus.
Empire Earth as well. Oh, many a fond memory of flying over the other civilizations in a plane while they threw sticks at it.
Happy days.
If only Lee was in chat, he'd remember that.
Yeah. Almost like a tourist trip, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, look down there. They look angry.
No. Oh, where's that gone? I was gonna. Is it gonna kill the stream off though? No, that's okay. Just wanted to potentially. Because what did you think of the Chaos Knights rules that you saw? By the way, I don't know if.
Oh, I like them. I think it's I think so far there's not many I haven't read. I didn't like. I think they're all quite nice. I want to see what they're like when you've got the whole package.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. It's not
playing
quite...
against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite hard to tell at the moment. But I think the Chaos stuff, Chaos Knights look cool.
I love the Night Despoilers data card alone, with the amount of weapons they had to put on the sheet.
Yeah, because the Despoilers, the generic one that basically has everything, like the Gatler, the combat weapons, the battle cannon, the thermal lance, blah 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 blah. So he has got to have everything, like the carapace weapons, the heavy stubber, the heavy flamers, the melter guns.
But I suppose what I like about that is because that's got quite a fully loaded weapon choice. It was nice to see it kind of on a card to see how busy it got on a bigger data card, and I think actually it's actually quite nice. Because just having a look at that, I think the thing I love about that is that you look at it and go, oh right, well, I literally have everything I need. Because I know sometimes what they used to do with the data entries and the codex is even if you could have something, they'd say you could upgrade to it, but they wouldn't necessarily include it on.
Yeah, they do that with the Chaos Codex at the moment. Like for instance, you might go, oh, you can have a combi plasma. Where the rules for a combi plasma? Okay, I've got to go right to the back to find the rules for a combi plasma. Or and I think we saw that with the Chaos Space Marine one when they had the rules for the Legionnaires. They had all the weapon profiles, which was nice.
Yeah, because I think as I said, especially some of the Marine ones where you go, oh, I can have this particular. Okay, oh, it's not actually listed. I've got to flip to the back and find. It's interesting because obviously it was clearly done for space saving, but then you look at the size of a data card and think, oh well, it's about the same size as a entry on a page. It's an interesting slight turn of I suppose of tactic on displaying models of and I genuinely hope they keep the card thing going. I hope it doesn't just go back into books and then we go back to this state, because I think actually I think cards are a very good
absolutely
good thing. So I've got orcs tomorrow, I think, haven't we? Or have we already had orcs? No, orcs are tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. We had Custodes today, didn't we? Yes, we did.
What I'd quite like is that you get your codex, and then you'd have your data cards in there whatsoever. They're all in there just as a printed thing.
Oh yeah, fine.
But then when you buy a box of intercessors, you get the data card in the box with the intercessors.
Yeah, I think we spoke briefly about this a few days ago. I think we both agreed this would be awesome because technically they're already doing it with the paper pull out. It's not that, I suppose, that different to doing that exact same thing, and I think actually it would make I suppose just make more sense to have a card in there. I mean, I suppose the only thing they might argue is that if you bought 3 boxes of intercessors, would you really want 3 data cards?
But to be fair, it's just a bit of card.
True. I mean, they could even have it on the actual box itself, and you could cut it out.
Yeah, I mean they've done that for years. They did that back when I first started Warhammer Fantasy. They used to have the rules for the unit on the back of the box. But then you can either cut it out, but then just put a bit of paper or card in there. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter which way they do it.
No.
Because I think the problem is if you got your codex and they had all of them in there and you had a copy of it, you might lose that copy.
Yes.
So you might as well have it every time we buy a box of intercessors.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it doesn't add any additional major cost to it, I don't see what the problem is. Still do rules and instructions. Yes, correct.
They do. Yeah.
And it just feels like that would be a natural step to have like a full color one. That you could. Oh, maybe it doesn't have to be color. It doesn't even have to be color, really. I suppose it could just be black and white. But just if it's got the latest rules on it, it's quite because I suppose it gives them the opportunity to refresh the box as well with the rules in it at a later date. So
that's true. Yeah.
They're going to be digital. You can do rules. I understand they're going to be digital as well. Which makes sense because there's going to be quite a lot of them. But I know some people do like having obviously the card in their hands. I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to have both, so it's nice to have the option.
I think the thing to remember as well, it's like having your cards for stratagems. But we all still buy them.
Yeah.
And like, is it easier to have them there with you as a cards, or do you want to go into your codex and look through there?
I think it's
or
debatable.
Go through the app, because I don't use the app for stratagems
No.
because it's a nightmare. Unless you know the name of the stratagem you're after, you can type it in and it comes up.
Yeah.
In my codex I tend to now put post-it notes with a little brief summary of what it does with it. Or you can have the cards and remove all the excess ones you don't want and just keep the ones that you're going to use.
The other thing I will say is I did see, I think on their careers page, they were recruiting a lot of app developers recently. So I'm wondering if there's going to be quite a big push on the quality of the app. Captain Jack's already got my laminator dusted off and ready. Yep, that is one way to approach that.
Well, the app is quite an interesting thing because the iOS app, I use that one in my little demo game for iOS. Really easy to use compared to the 40k one, which I'm like, well, it's the same company. Like, how is obviously it's not like for like. The game's not the same game, but the app for Army Builder on the iOS app, the official one, brilliant. And I think, from my understanding, a lot of iOS players use that. And so what happens, obviously, like GW can look at the analytics and come back and kind of help balance the game possibly a bit better. Where, how many 40k players use the app?
I suppose the argument I'd say with that is that the reason it's probably better is because it came out roughly the same time as when Age of Sigmar re-dropped, didn't it? And I suspect it was made more in mind with it from the beginning, whereas the 40k was much more shoehorned into the app, in my opinion. And I think
they're still using, they're still updating it. They're still.
Oh yeah, no, of course they are. No.
And you think how popular 40k is compared to iOS?
Yeah, it should be the better app. It should
be the better app. Unfortunately, it's not. But what I was saying is because the iOS community use the app more, the game seems to be more balanced in some ways. I think that they can probably take the data straight from their own app and work out what's being used and analyze it a bit better, where 40k players tend to use Battlescribe, which isn't necessarily supported. So I suppose accumulating the data is a little bit harder for 40k community. And
if they had access to Battlescribe,
let's face it, they just need to sort their app out. It's
100%. Both you and me have been subscribed to the app via the Warhammer TV, whatever, Warhammer Plus subscription, haven't we, for a while. I very rarely go into the actual app to look at the rule sets. Mainly because I just don't. Yeah, it's never really been that brilliant. And considering it's been out for almost is it a year and a bit now?
I don't know how long it's been, but it's like I said, it's just a shame.
Yeah, it is.
And hopefully
it's a wasted opportunity. Right. Wasted opportunity. Right, that is enough edge highlighting for me for the moment. Can let that one dry off a bit and then carry on with the other one in a minute. Just notice there's also a slight bit of I don't know what it is. There seems to be some. You know, when you spray on, you get some like bumpiness on some of the spray.
Mm-hmm.
Just noticed that on one of my Land Raiders, so I'm going to have a little look at that. I think this was back. I think I know why. Actually, I think it's on the white parts, on the where I painted it white previously. Because that's when I used to just do white. Is it right? Where's my white paint? Slap it on. That'll eventually cover if I keep putting enough layers on. They've changed the community page today from good and evil to core factions for the old. Yeah. Well, I think we spoke about this earlier, didn't we? I think. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to do a core factions for it, I suppose it makes sense to call them that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It worked. My fixes work. It is now a flat Land Raider, not a bumpy Land Raider.
Flat Land Raider.
Yeah, nice. Look better.
Well done. Just weigh it down.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's what you got to do. If I had a vice, I would have used a vice, but knowing me, I would have overtimed it and shattered it into about 1,000 pieces. So,
whoops.
I'm just having a look on their website to see what else has been sort of popped out from the. Oh, this is the thing I was looking at. It's the Dawnbringer previews. Is what I saw yesterday. A new hero for the cities of Sigmar.
Oh, they're nice.
They look very good.
Yeah, I like the new bits. They look pretty cool.
The old dual pistol wielding chap.
Boo!
Everyone likes dual pistols, right?
Yeah, it's true. Everyone does love dual pistols. From Counter-Strike to Age of Sigmar.
Ah, the dual elites. Love this. You might have to get some. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could get. I suppose I wish I could be tempted more by some of the Age of Sigmar stuff, but but because I've got a demon army, I suppose I don't really feel the need to make that massive leap into it until I feel it's worth doing so. I mean, so much 40k stuff going on for me at the moment. Yeah, it's difficult to sort of go. Yeah, I'll give Age of Sigmar a quick go.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And we had to plan to go back to Warhammer Fest next year, right? And see if they've improved upon it.
Well, hopefully they've taken our notes on board, Tom.
Our extensive, well thought out, well formulated feedback.
Well, I think you live and learn, and hopefully they've learned.
They won't.
We've got some context to put it against, and we go better or worse than 2023.
And of course, the other thing we've been talking about recently is our event.
Indeed, you do.
I think we're looking at October, aren't we?
Yes, the Oktoberfest of narrative events.
Ooh, Oktoberfest of narrative events. I like that. We'd have to include a beer prize now.
Beer prize, yeah.
So yeah,
we could do.
Don't know the date just yet, but it's in October at some point. So if any of you guys did want to come down to the lovely southeast coast, we're hopefully going to be doing a doubles event. So maybe two of you could come down as a team.
Ooh, bring a friend.
Bring a friend.
Or your wife.
Bring a friend or your wife. Yeah, there we go. And because we're going to be doing a doubles event, so in usual Black Toe style, it's going to be highly organised and highly effective.
There you go, Tom. If you thought of a job in advertising,
I'm just doing that now because it's good. I know I'm going to stop digging a hole for myself. It's going to be good. We've run a couple already.
It will be a good event, guys.
Yes.
Honestly, they're a lot of fun. We've had positive feedback. It's going to be awesome, and you get to have a good time with your friends.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for space because we will get that up as soon as we've got the bookings and stuff sorted, and to give anyone who does want to come down a bit of time to potentially get the time off and come down to see us if they want to. So, because it would be good to have a few of you guys pop down on the channel. So, yeah.
And I think the nice thing as well is it being so far in advance that people can, because it's a team event and there'll be, I think we talked about having a prize for best themed army, or armies, as it were. So it gives you plenty of time to think of something. Go, that works. Let's do that. And then it'll be all good. Good thing to enter in. So
Good
nice.
thinking, sir.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to have a bit of, we don't want to do everything last minute. Because
how's those Terminator heads going?
they're good. Where are my Terminator heads? I've taken them all off the wand. I've done the eyes.
They're off the wand. So
I'm doing the eyes at the moment.
I thought you were going to try and show me on there, Dom. I thought I'm not going to be able to see the eyes on there, mate. Zoom right in.
I'm currently doing their little tunics and loincloths on their Terminators.
Oh well.
I'm doing a bit of edge highlighting on them.
So I'm going to talk some movie news. Did you see the latest thing about Andy Serkis?
What about him? Has he been caught up in some controversy?
No. He's re-signed to do some Lord of the Rings with Amazon.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought was quite interesting.
I like that Andy Serkis is very passionate still about Lord of the Rings. I think most of them are, but I think it's nice that Andy Serkis is still kind of contributing a bit.
Yeah, luckily his role means that as long as they got good animators, he can always kind of step back into it, unless he suddenly lost his voice, which would be quite bad for him, I think.
Yeah,
considering that's his main tool for Lord of the Rings, at least, anyway. Although I do know he obviously wore the suit and did a lot of the actual movement and acting for him as well. So that was.
He can still do that part, can't he?
Yes, because the reason this came up was I also saw that they were resurrecting, doing a Lord of the Rings MMO as well, again after canning it a couple of years ago, which I thought was quite funny.
Well, again. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? They kind of give it a go, sell a bit, and go, we'll relaunch it in a few years' time, which is fine, I suppose. Gives them a bit of a chance to re-change it and jig it about and come back at a different angle.
Guy swam in a freezing cold stream. Well, I mean, yep, he is dedicated to his craft, I would say. Oh, excuse me. And so Dom, your Terminators there. What's your next thing on your list after they're finished, or is that everything for your army done?
Oh, for the team tournament, that is everything done. Everything else has been painted, so they are the last thing to paint. So what did I paint to get them to where they are now? I think the Possessed and the Terminators. Yeah. That's all I had to paint, really. So the Possessed are all done. And I'm loving my Possessed, to be honest.
I know, you keep taking photos of them. It's almost a Gollum-like obsession.
It is like a Gollum-like obsession. No, but I mean, in general, like playing them on the battlefield, they're pretty brutal.
I know.
You might whittle the squad down, but yeah, like you saw the other day, that one Possessed.
Oh, 13 Crusaders dead. Lovely.
Well, that was fun.
That's all right. I think my army did all right, to be fair, considering what it was. So I was quite happy with that. Actually, I do want to try out a triple Land Raider army once the new rules are out, I think. 2 Crusaders and my main one, and put lots of Primaris inside them.
Go for it. I think I love Land Raiders. They're such cool tanks.
I remember when you used to hate mine.
What, your Land Raiders?
Yeah. I think when I used to bring them in very old style games, I think when they used to be quite tough. So
I think because our friend Simon used to run triple Land Raiders with World Eaters, and it'll be like, oh god, here we go. Like, I've got to kill one of these before they hit my lines, otherwise I am in deep trouble. And then you literally go, and ram down, and it's like berserkers. You're like, oh god, everyone's dead.
Oh, was that back in the days when it was the old armor facings, armor values, and
and the Land Raider was 14 all over.
Yeah, 14 all over, and it was and every time you took that shot, you were begging for at least a mobilization result or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because a las cannon was like strength 9 plus d6.
Exactly.
So you'd still have to be relatively lucky to penetrate a land raider.
Oh God, I forgot about this. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. Good
There's
point.
glancing hits and penetrating.
Yeah, and that's
A
right.
glancing hit was up to the value, and a penetrating hit was exceeding the
Yeah,
value.
and I think if you get X amount of glancing hits, it did something, didn't it? I think.
Yeah.
And you could chip armor facings down. I think. God,
Yeah.
yeah, it's such a weird. It's weird to think of the game in that manner. Now, when you sort of go back to it in your head and you think, oh yeah, did you sort of play it that way? It was because obviously AP was very different as well. It was just a cancellation. You know, if you match the number, it was gone. So I do like the new AP system personally. I think it makes armor feel a bit more worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think having it as a not a total like you just go through it. Yeah, it just makes it weaker. I like that.
Yeah, because I think I was in a chat the other day and someone was talking about armies bringing lots of vehicles, and I was just like, because I suppose vehicles now you don't really see them too often. Like
No.
I've been taking my 2 predators in the last few games, and except for the one I played against with guard, everyone just ignores them because they're just like, oh well, the tanks, there's no point. But back in the day, it'd be like, oh no, here comes a tank.
You'd think about trying to get rid of it because it was because I think the way I looked at it back then is that whenever you built an army, you only had X amount of weapons that could genuinely deal with a tank.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was like if you can't penetrate it, then you just couldn't do anything to it. There was no, unless you had a special like haywire thing or something like that, which could always get a glancing hit. There was literally no way to damage
haywire.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously it was hull points. I was thinking of glancing hits took hull points off, and then I remember now. Jesus, funny world back then. But yeah,
but the thing is with things like hull points and Gauss weapons used to be able to glance, and the Necron weapons used to be really good against vehicles. Guys, the happy days of armored warfare in 40k.
But then, we all know why they changed it because it got it did get to the point where if you didn't have if you took like a couple of missile launches and you lost both of them and that was your only tank killing ability, that was it. You were basically you couldn't do anything because bolters didn't used to be able to wound tanks as an example, which I still think's fair on some level. I think there should be some weaponry like a las gun shooting at a tank like a land raider. I mean.
Or back when, or when las guns wound on 6s on vehicles, it was like, oh well, a load of las guns have just taken my night out.
Yeah, I mean, more recently, that's the Cadian one, isn't it? With the auto wounding on 6s now, isn't it? That was that's the one that sort of broke that a little bit in some cases. You just had to it was all about getting the most number of shots, which I still think at the moment the game in its current state is a little bit like that. Because the more shots you can fire into something, I think you are generally going to drop it regardless of what it is.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't even need that much AP. As long as you can muster a little bit of AP, you kind of increase the odds enough to make it feel like a fairly easy job.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, that was my night, was it? Oh. Whereas, I'm hoping. I mean, I suppose. The other thing is that I feel combat feels a little bit better in this edition as well. Because old style combat was odd. That was all based on initiative step, obviously. So you could potentially charge something in somewhere and still not get to fight with it.
Yeah, true.
Whereas now you have that kind of chance at least. I like the alternate activations for combat for attacker and defender. I think that's a really good mechanic. It's shame not translate to shooting, but
I mean, that would be more interesting, wouldn't it? See how that changes things if you alternated in shooting.
It's like if you shot something. I mean, I suppose the interesting thing about that is it would cut down turn time. If it was alternative activations apart from movement, because you'd be doing the turn at the same time. It wouldn't be like your turn, their turn, except for movement. That would be but I suppose that just changes the whole aspect of 40k. I suppose if you did that, in a massive way. It wouldn't be the same type of game, really. It'd be more like
Change the dynamic quite significantly, wouldn't
oh
it?
yes, I mean it'd be tactical chess.
Tactical chess.
But
There
yeah.
we go.
Mm.
Maybe people should experiment. Maybe you guys should go away and have a game of 40k and alternate shooting.
Maybe we
See how
should
that
maybe we
works
should
out.
get hold of some of the old editions, Dom, and play some of the older games of 40k for to see what
I
it.
think I saw a picture on Instagram the other day of people alternating. No, sorry, people playing Rogue Trader.
Oh.
Oh, that's quite cool. Quite different, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, probably extremely different to be fair. I know you played some of the editions. I think I only got in after I think it was fourth or end of fourth, beginning of fifth.
Yeah.
I think I remember if I remember correct. I think it was the edition with the red background and the big hammer on the front.
Yeah, I can't remember what edition that is.
Yeah, I know.
What edition was that, guys? Does anyone remember the rule book with the big hammer?
I think I've still got it behind me over here, but
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Some of the editions have been peculiar. I think 8th edition, in my opinion, is probably I really liked 8.
well, yeah, I think it was maybe more to do with what they did around it, maybe necessarily than just the rules.
Mm.
I think the indexes was actually the selling point of 8th edition when it initially
Yeah,
came
I
out.
think it's a nice change of pace as well with 8th. 9th has had some good moments, although I think it was a bit up and down. I think 9th. Be interested to see what 10th does.
I think they lent a bit too heavily towards the competitive scene in 9th. And I think it started to really encroach in some of the other parts of 40k, which I think was one of the things that brought it down a little bit for me. It did feel, I mean, obviously we played a deck-based game last week, which was quite fun. But, the expectation is that you play with with one of the release sets that are released every 6 months, that kind of thing. And obviously it sounds like that's all kind of being changed slightly at the moment, so I have to see what they do.
Yeah,
we haven't even seen the game scenarios yet, so we can't really make a judgment.
I'll be optimistic about it and kind of let's see what they can do, because this is a massive company, and I like to think that they do learn from the mistakes. And a lot of people are very pessimistic about Games Workshop, but I do think they do learn, and I'm hoping for the best.
So RT was my first. Harlequin Soldier taking out a Land Raider with a Harlequin's kiss, not quiz, a quiz, a biscuits.
Nice. Well, I think there, Tom, on a positive note, that we leave it for today.
No, that sounds good.
And once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember, spread the word of the toad.
Oh yes. Ribbit. That's
share us out to all your friends and family, and go, oh, try a bit of Black Toad Studio. It's really good for you. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. I am always Dom, and I'm
still Tom.
He's still Tom.
Yeah, and thank you very much for watching, everyone. And we will see you all soon. Take care.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.